If there's one thing that we can almost always rely on with a national election, it's comedic material flowing forth from the candidates. And never has there been more comedic material than when this happened.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
For YouTubers and comedians across the world, this was a goldmine of jokes. From his crazy hair, his lofty pride, his unbelievably racist, misogynist, elitist, foolhardy statements just left us all gawking at the fact that he would even consider running for president. And we all had a good laugh. But then, something happened.
And a new poll out today suggests that he has made some serious gains against the woman who could wind up being his Democratic opponent. Today, he trails her by just 6 points.
Showing him well ahead in a national poll, 25%.
For Donald Trump, the power's in the polls. The Republican presidential frontrunner is expanding his leads nationally and in key early voting states, sending a message to GOP opponents that his campaign is here to stay.
Now, as you probably gathered, I'm all for a joke in any given situation, but ultimately there has to be a line. And Trump's candidacy has crossed that line. It's ceased to become just funny and ridiculous and could never possibly happen, and teeters on the edge of becoming reality. One that is reminiscent of dictators rising to power. And I don't use that comparison lightly. Using an ethnicity to place blame on, offering outrageous solutions, being so full of yourself and bold with the way you say it that people believe that it must be true, and using money as a weapon. The scariest part is that there's a lot of people that disagree with Trump, and yet they won't or can't vote. They either take the opinion that one vote won't make a difference, or they're tied down to work and can't get away to vote, or they can't vote because they're not a citizen. This is my green card. I have one because I'm a legal permanent resident of the United States. I've lived here for 6 years now, I pay taxes, and everything about this upcoming election will affect me, and I can't vote. In order to vote, I need to become a US citizen through a process known as naturalization, which takes about 6 months and costs about $680. If you believe that every vote matters, including mine, I've set up a GoFundMe page, which the link is in the doobly-doo below the video, and you can donate as much or as little as you like to help me get to the goal of $680 so that I can become a US citizen and vote against Trump. But, and here's what would be really cool, if the money raised exceeds the $680 amount, I will use that money to help fund organizations that help people like myself become US citizens so they too can vote. Donald Trump cannot become president. Do not make the mistake of thinking that it's so ridiculous it couldn't possibly happen. If you're a US citizen, vote. A great leader is not someone who bullies other parties or forces people out of the room if they speak against him. They're not someone who stigmatizes an entire race as the cause of all that country's problems. But they can quickly gain support with their confidence, grand promises, and expectations of returning the country to its former glory. And I bet you're thinking that everything I just said was about Trump, except that everything I just said pertained to Adolf Hitler, who was voted into office with a margin of 32%. Joking about Trump is all well and good, but when it comes time to vote, don't rely on your belief that he's nothing more than just a joke. Rely instead on your power to make a difference with your vote. And as I said before, if you believe that every vote matters, help me become a US citizen so that I may do the same. Thank you.